Andor has been a sleeper hit for Disney+, and it's got some memorable characters, an incredible set design, and a great story. But with the first season of the Rogue One prequel series ending, you've got to wonder, how did everything even come together? In today's video, we will look at some of the fascinating behind-the-scenes facts from Season 1 of Andor. So let's dive straight in. Starting with number 10, Farewell to the Volume. The Star Wars franchise has always been known for having some stellar sets. Every single planet or Imperial base looks believable and real. They've used many different techniques over the years to get to that goal. George Lucas, for instance, was a big fan of building entire sets from scratch. The newer live-action shows, however, have opted for a more modern approach by shooting at the Volume. Now, if you don't know, the Volume is an iconic, giant LED backdrop that surrounds the whole filming stage, so actors and film crew can get a 360-degree view of the environment. The tech is seriously impressive and makes filming easier for everyone involved. After all, you don't have to build complicated sets or go to different locations when you can just project an entire planet on the screen. Moreover, Star Wars shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi and The Mandalorian use the Volume to good effect. Andor, on the other hand, ditches the big screen in favor of more realistic locations and sets. Why? Well, for starters, a screen can never replicate the real thing, no matter how good it is. So you always had that depth of field effect in shows that used it. Also, according to Tony Gilroy, they preferred to build real sets for Andor because it's got a lengthier season with some set locations. So it made sense to build a city like Ferrix once and let it stay there for filming. Next, at number 9, an entire town was built for the show. Yep, since the show isn't using any LED backdrop tech like the Volume, it would make sense to build real-life sets. Here's the interesting part though. Usually, these sets are built with a few buildings and key areas dotted around the place, just to get a few shots. The creator of Andor, Tony Gilroy, however, decided to go above and beyond for his set design, as he decided to build an entire city for the show. No, the city of Ferrix has been fully constructed from scratch, with junkyards, taverns, shipyards, gambling halls, and much more. Even the areas we don't see on screen have been built with full attention to detail. After all, you don't want random modern-day stuff ruining the shot, do you? The city has a super cool vibe, as it's been inspired by Mos Eisley from the original trilogy. Coming up at number 8, the cast loved real environments. Of course, authenticity wasn't the only thing that came as part and parcel of building real sets. It was also the feeling of existing within the real world. Imagine walking into an actual Star Wars world and getting lost there. Sounds incredible, right? Well, that's exactly what the cast felt as well. Diego Luna, for example, said in an Empire interview that interacting with the environment was a beautiful thing because everything feels real and mechanical. Moreover, Fiona Shaw, who plays Andor's adoptive mother, Marva, added that her character's house is built from parts scavenged from old spaceships. And it's so impressive that she just goes out and stares at it. Now, at number 7, some locations were very hard to film. Alright, let's be real. Building authentic sets on dope locations is cool and everything, but it's also very challenging. So much so that you can sometimes even endanger the cast. That's been the game's name for Star Wars though, as we've seen some pretty inhospitable locations in the franchise over the years. Tatooine, for instance, was a scalding hot desert in Tunisia, while Greenland acted as the location for the frozen planet Hoth. Likewise, Andor's got a bunch of these challenging locations too, and if you've watched the show, you probably know which one it is. Yep, it's that whole sequence before the heist with the mountains. And according to Luna, they had to hike hours up a mountain in Pitlochry, Scotland, to get a single shot. The actor went as far as to say that it felt like he was on another planet. Braving through danger is kind of Cassian behind-the-scenes thing, so Luna was just getting into character. Following up at number 6, even the McLaren HQ made an appearance. Now, going to dangerous locations and filming there is great, but you know what's even better? Turning already iconic buildings and locations into sets for the show. We've seen some pretty spectacular futuristic buildings in Andor. For instance, the airport walkway on Coruscant is one of the most in-depth looks we've had at the modern architecture of the capital. What if we told you that it's actually a real location? Yes, that airport is the iconic McLaren Technology Center in Woking, England, with its massive windows and curved walkways. Moreover, even the market square is a sci-fi facelift of the E&E Industries at Pinewood Studios. So if you keep a keen eye while watching, you can recognize these buildings in the show. Up next at number 5, Andor has over 200 named cast members. Star Wars as a franchise has always been about the wonder of living in this incredible galaxy, far, far away. From bustling towns to scandalous deserts, these worlds feel genuinely lived in. Guess what you have to do to make them feel authentic though? Of course, have a lot of background characters doing their thing. So by extension, Andor does the same thing by bringing a cast of over 200 people on board. Oh, and they're not just random members. Every single one of them has a name and a function, which just shows the attention to detail that's been put into the show. Moving on to number 4, the actors felt in tune with the characters. We've already mentioned earlier how the cast of Andor loved interacting with the real sets, as it gave them a sense of authenticity. But this feeling wasn't just limited to the sets. As long as the show was filmed, most of the cast settled into their roles, almost as if they were method acting. What's more, Adria Arjona, who plays Bix Kalin, even told Collider that she traced her character's morning routine between the scenes to get into the flow of things, and for her, feeling like her character was integral to the great performances in the show. Coming up at number 3, the costume design and creature effects. Over the years, we've seen Star Wars go back and forth between CGI and real aliens. For instance, Yoda has been through several changes, with some directors preferring a real puppet over a computer image. Andor goes down the realistic route with practical character effects, especially for the droids. Even the costume design is extremely detailed, as many outfits are hand-sewn, like Senator Mon Mothma's iconic robes. And honestly, it makes sense that they've done the extra effort, because costume design is easily one of the show's biggest strengths. Now at number 2, the villains of Andor. Alright, the Imperials in the franchise can be a bit one-dimensional at times, but the pairing of Dedra and Cyril is one of the more complex villain portrayals we've seen in the series. And according to the actors Denise Goff and Kyle Soller, it's been super refreshing to play villains who, from their perspective, truly felt like they were doing the right thing. Like, it's not even about being a tyrant or anything. They unironically believe they're the good guys. Even when reality comes crashing down on them, we see some great character growth to reflect it. Besides, this is a great move, away from your usual power-hungry Star Wars villains like Moff Gideon. Finally, at number 1, bringing Mon Mothma to life. Again, Andor has some great characters, doesn't it? Like, Mon Mothma's growth into a rebel leader has been one of the fascinating things in the show. How is her portrayal so authentic to the OG character though? Well, the actress Genevieve O'Reilly, who also played the Senator in Rogue One, always wanted to explore the sacrifices that she'd made to get to that point. So, for her, navigating through her rich lifestyle in Coruscant was always an exciting prospect. But you know what she was even more interested in portraying? The turning point. Of course, Mon Mothma goes from being this glamorous senator to an alliance leader that we see in The Return of the Jedi at some point during the series. And this journey between those 2 points connected with O'Reilly, which explains why she's been so great in the role. That's a wrap for this video. What's your favorite behind-the-scenes fact about Andor? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.